What's up, guys? Hey, Cam. Well, you guys are watching Bitcoin go up, huh? I've been watching every other market that's ripping around this morning. Having a really big day. It feels nice to do over 10. Started this account pretty small, so it's finally getting the buying power up. Huge day in FX, though, guys. We can talk crypto in a little bit. It's not nearly as exciting what's going on global macro. You see the media really keying off the lira, but this is a story that's been going on for a while, and it's kind of just uh, manifesting itself today. This is either the start of a much bigger problem, or this is kind of like a blow off top. Because I mean, anytime you got the major media outlets talking about it every time they come back from commercial, usually at the kind of end of the run. Same thing happened to the euro the last time we bought them, if you guys remember. We were talking about it in our live session. When we bought them down here the first time down, can you guys all see my... Oh, I don't have a... Well, let me switch my windows up here for you guys. I'll just do the desktop, I think. It's easier. When we had this move down, after all of this, we had the media going crazy. Same thing like they're doing here on the lira right down here. And that was a temporary low. But today, we've clearly broken, guys. So we've been dollar bulls for forever, since actually the end of last year, saying that the dollar's really close to bottoming. And then once it started to roll over, I mean, we've been putting out pieces on it. We've been shorting every rally, buying every dip in the dollar, shorting every rally in the euro pretty much. And so today we really, if you look at these markets, here's the dollar versus the lira. Obviously, lira is collapsing, you know. But of course, Bitcoin isn't a store of value, which is hilarious, right? So this is like just the perfect example of Turkey is no Zimbabwe, you know. Turkey is not some African country that doesn't have any. They're one of the biggest developed markets, a big part of the emerging markets. I don't know. Maybe we need to be louder as blockchain crypto advocates on this nonsense. So we've been on the long side of it, been killing it here. But if we look at it, just look at the dollar versus everything. Dollar versus the peso. We've been looking for that to turn the corner. Boom. Big rally today. We took some profits. We're going to keep buying dips there. You look at dollar versus the yen. You have some yen weakness, and the dollar still, look at the bands are still rising. We look at cable, absolutely collapsing. So we liked being short up here. And now we're actually kind of at the bottom of that, the opposite end of this move. So I'm going to be going home. I've been shorting these intraday rallies here on cable. And I might actually, I'm core long right now, but I may start to kind of pick that up and try to be a little bit contrary long. I mean, either going to do it versus cable or I'm going to do it versus, I probably do it versus the yen. So I kind of lean a little bit long down here, contrarian long, and then be more aggressive on the rallies, shorting sterling and play these two off each other. That's what I was doing today. I don't know how many trades I did. Hey, what's up, Juna? Nice to see you. Yeah, Daniel. We got Stan. Stan, you did? You made a killing off. Which signal is that? everything is just cracking big time today in FX. For a Friday to have this much energy in the markets, it's great. But today was, and the beginning of this week was really tough because I kind of run a lot of risk, meaning I keep my buying power pretty much. A lot of people don't use all their buying power, and I kind of was running all of it early in the week. And we had euro versus the pound. Euro versus the pound up here tested a major level. And I wanted to really short the piss out of this up here. And I just didn't have any room, the buying power, which was unfortunate. So that was the right call. I think a lot of people were chasing this move above these highs, and we just failed right into that resistance. So I like being core short euro versus the pound. We talked about it in our live session Tuesday and Thursday to try to stay with your shorts up here at the top. Now we've been covering a lot. That's kind of what I did today. And then another one of our bigger positions has been short euro kiwi, and this has been tough. This is kind of against us. My core position was right below the market, and so I was day trade long a lot of it up here into the highs and making some money intraday. And then same thing, both of these pairs, because the cable collapsed. I was basically I would have been in this margin call. I couldn't take any more risk up here, but euro kiwi failed right where it should have also. So that was kind of difficult to kind of work with and stay with early in the week. But today, I mean, we just came in and some of the core positions, we covered this. And then, what else did I do? We're selling rallies today, intraday on the euro. So when the market started to bounce, every rally today, we've just been selling. So this is your breakdown: shorting, covering, shorting more here, covering, shorting. But this is a serious break, guys, for the euro here. I mean, I don't know why that's on there. I mean, this 200 is descending down here, 1363. Everybody will have it on their chart, but I don't. When you've already gone through it like that, and it's, to me, I don't know, that's not a lot of support. That's the only thing left before the support, which is all the way down here at 105, 106. So I think we've been saying that the biggest thing in markets right now is the dollar this year. It's not the S&P back on the highs. It's the dollar move. This is what's going to drive everything. And so emerging markets are absolutely getting smoked. Anybody that's borrowed in dollars is naturally short dollars, so they're getting crushed. And this is going to cause problems in the riskier parts of markets. It's probably going to affect stocks, U.S. stocks at some point. But this looks like this is finally another leg up. And we're closing the week out here at new highs. So we should expect this to continue. I mean, back to 100 on the Dixie. And this is going to drive everything. Oil is not – if this has another leg up, oil's not going to be able to hold up either. If oil doesn't hold 64, it's going to be probably back at 58. Stan, you did? Nice, man. Good, buddy. So, anyway, guys, I don't know. We could go into a lot of global macro. I know some of you want to kind of get on talk crypto. This is just, which is great about our model. You guys that signed up for the course and you hang out and you're in the live room and you're learning to trade. Our model it's directional, but it's multi-duration. So how you trade it when you want to come in intraday to make money. It's kind of income style trading. How you trade longer term, which is a lot where a lot of our longer term investments are in crypto now, is, you know, we're kind of at a down cycle before we turn back up. So it's nice to be able to just go whatever market is flowing. And so there's been a lot of energy in the currency markets because what the dollar's doing. And you know, you can't really say that much about the, like, for example, the bond market. We've been bullish bonds also because we think growth is going to cool off from how fast it's been accelerating. So we were buying bonds down here in front of 141 and 3/4, 141 and a half. We had a pretty good rally today. Kind of nibbling on the VIX, some VIX products yesterday that had a good bounce today. Any of you guys been trading Tesla around? It's obviously the media loves that. I was busy doing other stuff, but I still have some puts, and I really wanted to pull the trigger if we got on some decent puts because we got towards 400, and kind of wish I would have just added instead of waiting. Would have been nice yesterday. But I don't know. I think he's bluffing for the most part. I've never really seen a CEO be that aggressive. He's kind of walking a thin line there, not getting in trouble. Anyway, guys, that's what I've been doing. What are you guys doing in crypto space? Bitcoin, I've been just kind of hanging out, waiting to see whether or not this daily cycle takes over. I mean, we're at the end of the week, so it's been down for 2 weeks after up for 2 weeks. This cycle's done a pretty good job, you know. Even there's good ebb and flow here. This is a pretty good rhythm, right? I mean, here was the low, here was the highs, here's the low, here's the highs, here's the low, you know. So I started buying a little bit into this dip, and then I had on more than I wanted. So once we couldn't hold here, I took half off. Just wanted to wait to put that back on a little bit lower so I could keep my average. You know, just managing the risk. I don't want to be too long up here and not be able to add down here. So to me, we're kind of in no man's land. I want to buy more down here as far as like futures go. And it doesn't matter, futures or outright Bitcoin. It's the same thing. I'm pretty much long in a lot of names already. So the futures is where I have more buying power right now. But between here and here, to me, we're kind of in no man's land. We can watch the 8. We can watch this 8 right here. That's kind of a sign of, guys, the 8, if you watch the 8 on the daily chart, that always is going to kind of give you an easy way to say, hey, where's my intermediate term trend? Oh, okay. What's the direction of the 8? Oh, okay. My intermediate term trend is bullish. You know, I get a close below the 8. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, my intermediate term, which direction is that? Now it's bearish. You don't just trade the 8 as your end all be all because you'll be getting flipped around a lot. Like, you know, if you're trying to be bearish here and then bullish and then bearish again and then bullish again and then bearish again, you're going to get chopped up. But you basically can use that. If you're on the daily, that direction of the 8 is going to show you the intermediate term trend. Because then when you peel this back and you go to the 4-hour or the hourly, right? Pretty good visual, right? Here's your uptrend. You got above the bands, we got above pi. This played out all the way to here and even to here. This was the first sign that we were kind of breaking down. Couldn't hold the bands. And then when you break the pi cycle, this was all intermediate term bearish. So you have some of you have been playing this on the short side. more near term, and that makes sense. Just depends how you play it sometimes, you know. I've been kind of more nibbling, I was looking for this to kind of hold right there, and pretty weak that it didn't. You guys want to look at the longer term cycles? A couple $100 extra there. I was just nibbling on euro pound when we came down into this low. So I got some pieces here that I bought into on this pullback that's against my overall net short, which is longer term. So as we come back up here, I'll come out of that and then I'll go back the other way, back short. Cam, you want to look at the business cycle? You mean the ECM, like the global business cycle, or you mean on BTC, the longer wave? Longer term cycles? I'm going to close this out too. Euro just bounced another lower high. Cable's still weak as shit. I might have to log back in here. Maybe not. No, I haven't bought any salt. It's been such dead money that my attitude is I'm not going to buy till 50 cents or until it starts making higher highs. We could look at that one too. So I thought that it was pretty disappointing to me that the market, Bitcoin, couldn't hold this 30-day. And I'll tell you why. Because let's see. Irrespective of the cycles, you got to kind of think in two ways in terms of price and trend. Majority of people only follow price. Okay, no, nobody has any concept of time and cycles in trading for the most part. But from a price perspective, this was really disappointing that we couldn't hold this area right here. And I don't mean for the longer term. You know, I'm not saying that I'm not a Bitcoin bull longer term. I'm just saying this to me looked like we had a really good shot at starting a rally. We broke a lot of this downtrend, these lower highs here. We took all of that trend out, and we did it with really good volume relative to what has been happening the last 2 months, you know? And then these are all real money candles. What we call all these guys down here. These were real money candles. That was a sign of real money coming back in. The bears got squeezed. The shorts got squeezed. But then here again, we failed on the underside of pi. So we did it here pretty much. And that's okay to fail there the first time, but then on the pullback, maybe I need to blow this up for you guys. On the pullback, we have a concept we call the 30 halt. And so a lot of times when you have a downtrend, and you can put a moving average, a lot of time you'll get at lower highs at or near a 30 period moving average. And so when you stop making those lower highs and you get higher highs, and the market comes up in here and it breaks that trend, and you get higher highs like you did right here. After that takes place, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and then boom, we broke it right there. A lot of times this is the first move up, and it's the pullback that you want to get aggressive, and then it's the second leg that is much higher. So anytime you kind of change trends, it's after a downtrend like that, it's the first leg up, pullback, and it's the second leg that's always higher. And you want to be around for the second leg, and you want to add into that pullback. And I could show you the same thing on like a 5-minute chart of the euro today. It's like the first breakdown, the pullback. Well, maybe I'll do that right now. So here, I mean, I just was just going right off the top of my head, but this is your breakdown. Here's your pullback, and then the second leg is longer. So this is the first move down, the pullback, the second leg is usually. So this is where I teach my guys what we call the wall concept, right? So the bears create all this bearishness. This is power right here. That's the sign of power and strength by the bears. And it's really hard to knock down that entire wall on the next move up. It's hard to take out all of that. So as you rally back, you retrace about halfway is a lot of time where you're going to get a failure. You guys see that? Some of you that are new, you guys with me? And then boom. So you catch it, you're short, you take some profit as you move away from the 30, and then you start feeding into this thing on the rally, and then boom, you get another leg down. So that's just common in markets. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. But as far as Bitcoin goes, that's kind of what I wanted to see happen here. First rally up, the pullback, and then I was really wanting to see if we could catch this 30 right here and do what we call a 30 halt and then have another leg up. So that was just disappointing for me that we didn't hold. And that 6,800 was a pretty good level we broke out from. It went down, it bounced, and then we went right through it. So to me, it just tells you the market's not quite ready to go. You know, I mean, we've been waiting to see if some of these other shorter term cycles were going to produce higher highs. And, you know, this cycle right here did produce a higher high relative to what we were doing back here. So that was bullish also. And the fact that we made a higher high there, and then I thought maybe we had a good shot at rallying into this turning point. But we didn't have much happen here on this turn. We have another turning point here, which is the 19th. So next weekend. But I think, guys, it's really shaping up that the longer term wave is going to be the dominant wave. I mean, we're 8.6 months from the high. So you can take that as 8 months or 9 months, depending on how you want to round. So, you know, August, September is when we look for the turn. It's going to be really bearish, I think, if we break and make new lows on this cycle turn. I'm not making that call, but there is a risk that if you don't hold 5,000 with this turning point right here, then maybe you have a cycle inversion and you have another bear market that lasts another 8 months, which could be really painful for the bulls. But that's not really been our call. We want to play it on the long side here, and we're actually looking for a rally with this next wave, this next 8.6 months into the back half of the year. Yeah. Is that what the market only cares about now, is an ETF? I mean, I guess that's the next step to really help the institutions. That in custody. I don't know really what else. I just think it's more of a timing thing. I mean, these if we had Bitcoin back up at 16,000 in the matter of like 1 month, all these institutions would be scrambling to try to to move their asses quicker to get exposure to the space. There's so many people that get the long-term bullish aspects of blockchain and Bitcoin, and it's only going to take the price to rise, and everybody's going to chase. And the institutions that aren't set up, I mean, they're getting a pretty good opportunity here with price, just lethargically dinking around down here. Kiwi really sold off. Euros back on the lows. I'm gonna go a little bit more long dragon down here. I'm trying to be a little bit contrarian now. Been short pretty much all this week. Intraday. Let's look at the intermediate term. I was going to say on Bitcoin too, if we look at the futures, so we like to do what's called a top down. And here, let me get rid of these buy signals we've posted so you can see it easier. So one of the simple techniques, guys, for maybe some of you that aren't familiar with us, and this is one of the things I teach, but there's something called a swing line. That's really simple concept, but it's actually really powerful. And sometimes in trading it's one of the hardest things you can do, but it's actually simple, right? The market only goes up, sideways, or down. And as traders, because psychology and money is so emotional, that we can overcomplicate it, and that's completely natural. But just simply following the previous candle's high, close, or the low kind of can give you just a simple direction and help you with your timing. So this is a swing line that you just follow the prior candle's highs when you're in a downtrend, and you can see that Bitcoin futures has not been able to get above the prior candle's closing level this entire time that futures have been open. You guys see that? It creates what I call a swing line. So this candle's close right here is lower than this high, right? This close is lower than here. This close is lower than there. This close is lower than there. This close is slightly lower. This close is lower. This close is right at it. This close is right at it. And so that's showing you the intermediate term trend. And it'll be bullish if and when we see this form like this. When we get a candle like this, so I'm on the monthly time frame right now, that takes out that high, or sorry, takes out the previous candles, this pattern, the swing line right there, boom. That's a classic buy setup in our model. You can buy that candle and you put your stop right below the low of that candle or the prior candle's low. That's one of the setups I teach when you sign up for our trading course or you work with me in the coaching live session. That's a swing line buy setup. You can find that on any time frame. But that just shows you how there's so much order to markets. I mean, if all you did is look at the closing month and be like, man, I'm not going to buy until we get above the prior month's high, closing candle high, and it still hasn't taken place yet. So that's what I see on the monthly. We don't have any real cyclical data. You go to the weekly, and you look at the weekly, you'll see kind of the same pattern emerging. It's just a little bit more, there's a little bit more ebb and flow to it, right? So here's a high. Here's another lower high, lower high, lower high. And we put in another lower high 2 weeks ago. So that's just the world we're in right now with BTC, right? I mean, and then you have this nice rhythm inside of that trend, right? So we were oversold down here, bounced to a lower high, ebb and flow back down, bounce to a lower high, ebb and flow back down, lower high, back down. So we can get more long-term bullish and look for more long-term momentum when this pattern gets taken out, which doesn't look like it's going to happen till more on this side. Now I'll show you guys the same thing. This is how markets turn. You want to watch the lower highs. You can look at something like dollar peso, and we were looking for the same thing to happen. And it finally happened actually really today and this week. So lower highs, right? I wonder if there's a swing line if I go to the weekly, show you guys the same thing. And then boom, we get above that high right there. Now we got now, just like I was teaching you, here's your first leg up. This next pullback, you want to be really aggressive on dollar peso. This next pullback is going to be what we call a gift. When you have a new uptrend or what we call a change in the TMS, that pullback inside of that wall concept that I just was explaining, about halfway, you want to be all over that. That's called what we call the gift zone. The market's giving you a gift. It's giving you a second chance to buy this thing before it takes another leg up. So that's kind of what I'd be looking for on dollar peso from here. You have resistance above right here. So that's why we came out of some that we were buying better down here in intraday. But this next pullback, I think you got a good shot at going back this way in a major way. And the reason I say that is because here we have the weekly. I mean, just look at this trend, right? Here's our pie line. Price is in the northern hemisphere, meaning it's in a bull market. We've had nothing but higher lows on this longer term weekly chart, which these higher lows are actually higher lows on the monthly level. And we just created another swing line. So there's your swing line concept that's going to be playing out here also. Let me see if I can get it zoom in better. Right? Look at the swing line on the way up. Where does it change? Boom, right there. Down. Right? And then your swing line on the downside now has been like this. See how orderly it is? And then boom, this week, that's what I mean. That all changed this week. Now we got a new swing line buy setup on the weekly with a weekly cycle turning up. This is textbook, very bullish here. And I love how it's playing into all this disaster in emerging markets. I mean, you already got Mexican officials going over to see people in the U.S. here. Trump's been already picking up his rhetoric on the wall. It's not going to take much for the dollar peso, I think, to light up also. So we want to be buyers and pullbacks going into next week. This has already been a nice trade for us. Do you guys like that stuff? That's just a little bit of what we work on in our coaching and what we go on the trading model. That swing line buy setup, though, it's pretty powerful. You can use it in anything you're trading. I'm gonna fade Euro Kiwi a little bit here. I'm pretty much done for the day, so I'm trading pretty light. You guys want to look at any more altcoins? Yeah, so this is what I did on the day today. I started my first trade at, I don't have the right US time on here. Euro Kiwi. It was pretty early this morning, maybe 8. So 10,467 today. It's a good way to end the week. Yeah, we can look at some alts, guys. Since some of you, I mean, I don't try to make these YouTube sessions too long, but if some of you guys are like, well, I don't know where you're talking about to get involved with you guys. I mean, obviously subscribe. If you guys subscribe to and help me out. I mean, I'm so bad at saying, hey, hit the like button and smashing the like button and notifications and stuff. I really need to try to get our YouTube channel metrics up so more people can find us. Sorry, 1 second. But yeah, I mean, just so you guys know, blockedgecapital.com. I don't have the website up. I'll get to it in a second. This is what one of my guys has been doing. He's subscribed. I'll tell you guys a couple things. So all this trading I'm doing in Forex land, I set up a copycat service. And the way that works is that it's amazing in technology now. Some of you maybe are familiar with MetaTrader, but you can essentially take your brokerage account, your FX brokerage account, copycat to my account. And based on the relative size of your account versus mine, you can set something which is called like there's a ratio. I forget the exact term right now, on a blank. But you can follow me, for example, at 0.25. So this is one of my guys. He's at 0.25. So meaning if I take a trade on pound versus the yen on 100,000, he's going to, his machine will fire off at 25,000 lot. But he only pays me a subscription fee every month. It's only $150. And he's been doing this with me since July 4th. He's up 16,000 Canadian dollars here on this account, all passive. And so he can trade this account along with my trading. So if he thinks he needs to hedge something that I'm doing, or I'm taking more risk or whatever, he can follow along. But this is just the type of performance. And what I like about it is completely passive. So I think it's a pretty amazing service for people that want some extra money that maybe, I've been 10 years professionally, 15 years trading to get to this point of consistency. And it's tough to work positions all day and all night. So this was a way that people could kind of participate if maybe they have a job or they're still learning. But anyway, so our team, and we're kind of, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have different businesses, but this, as a trader, entrepreneur, Block Edge Capital is kind of our home base website for now. We're building out a digital asset management firm. We have, my partners and I, we're working together, setting up a consulting and compliance firm out of Chicago. So we'll be handling customers, doing a lot of legal work, reviewing documents. We have developers based out of Toronto that we're working with ICOs now, helping people develop different projects as far as that goes. So we kind of have a lot going on. And then we're also doing, we're building out, as some of you guys know, Rhythm, which is our trading platform that's going to be crypto based, decentralized exchange, very much kind of a decentralized brokerage firm. We have some concepts we call bring your own wallet, where like we put out buy and sell signals now in a chat room, and you guys, we're issuing buy and sell alerts. Do I have this up? There we go. So these are all our manually, we're just putting in buy and sell signals around what our model's putting out. And so buying, selling, how we're working long positions, hedged positions. So this same type of signal product and analysis, we're building into a trading platform. You could think of it similar to Binance. You could think of it similar to like Thinkorswim, but it's going to be crypto focused. And then we're going to have more software related solutions where you're not trading between 7 different exchanges, and you actually, for those people that want to keep their crypto on their wallets, etc., you trade through us, use our Rhythm token. We actually swap, doing some things with 0x, can send you your token right back to your wallet, and just try to smooth out that whole process. It's very disjointed market right now. Anyway, so that's kind of, if some of you guys might be interested in that, that's the URL for that is rhythm.network. And if some of you too, you come into our chat if you're interested in kind of in the private pre-sale ICO stages for a while here. Not for a while, but we've been talking with some VCs, and so we've kind of put public ICO on the back burner till the end of the year, just conservatively speaking. Anyway, if some of you are interested in that, you can always message us. We can have those conversations privately. But just as far as following us, the education. So when I'm talking about the platform and these buy and sell setups and stuff like that, that's all under our trading course right here. This is all on demand. So if, you can learn, watch it. There's 3 pillars to this model. There's analysis, execution, and risk. We talk about psychology of trading, trading journals, how to work position size, different time frames. I talk about the origins of our model, which has to do with physics, thermodynamics, energy, how cycles move and behave, and how it's the same thing going through markets. That's there. We have this private trading team. That's the crypto room I just had up. And then if you also just want to come in, it's free to join us, to just get involved with us here. That's this public chat room right here. And then our 4th thing that we do on the educational side is, this is for all my traders that are really serious about, a lot of them want to do this full time. A lot of them already are trading full time for an income. And I've trained probably a half a dozen bond traders that didn't know anything about bonds, taught them all about the fixed income business. And, they're making good 6 figures now. Some of them were literally right out of school, like struggling, broke. And so that same type of work we did on the institutional desk and fixed income and running a rates desk, now we do it globally. We trained hundreds of traders all over the world. We trade a lot of Forex. So that's our live session where you see us trading a lot of Forex. And then we're trading a lot of crypto. Obviously, the end of last year, we were more heavily involved day trade because there's just more energy there. I guess that's pretty much, guys. That's all I wanted to say as far as people are wondering how to get involved. But yeah, let's look at some alts. And you guys can fire in the chat. I've been kind of ranting and rambling. If you guys have specific coins you want to look at. Just trying to see if there's anything else to do here. I think I'm just going to let this euro run. ETP, Danny. All right. I don't know that one. I got my different mic in, so hopefully the sound's better, but that's kind of a pain because I got to go through the USB to type, so not as fast. It's my other keyboard. Should we look at it on Bitfinex? Is that cool? I like this chart. This is long-term bullish for sure. You're just finally starting to see a pie line perk up. Sorry. So that green line, that's not something I drew on there. That's just pie, and that's 314 period moving average. So you've had enough amount of days that's starting to show that data. But just quick glance, I mean, this was obviously a bull market. Then the market couldn't hold these lows. You had a lower high here. Boom, boom. And that just set off this downtrend of lower lows and lower highs. So you had that trend, which was bearish, longer term. And then that kind of started to change when you got above this high and you stopped making lower lows here. And then you kind of went sideways in a base. And then you broke out above that base. So this is actually in a new long-term bull market for sure. All right, this was the first move. And you actually never got a pullback. You only kind of went sideways at the, I don't know why it does that. Sometimes the mouse freaks out. It only goes sideways here at the 8. So this is really strong, actually. I would just be a buyer on all these pullbacks here. I don't know anything about this coin, but this chart's long-term bullish. There's not that many charts that are looking like this. We're still waiting for Bitcoin to do this, start making higher highs. You guys want to look at XLM, Cardano? Yeah, what is Cardano looking like today? I think it's time we kind of put Cardano in perspective. This monthly chart's not great. You can kind of see the swing line concept I was talking about. This chart looks silly when it's such a baby. So here's a candle's high, just following those. And then right here, we actually did have a close above that prior monthly close, but you couldn't get any follow through. So there was zero follow through. And then you set in motion another swing line to the downside. So you need to see follow through on a lot of those setups, or it's just not ready to go. Here's that same swing line again here. This is the weekly level. And so right there, you had a nice little rally, right? 3-week rally. And it's just longer term, it's not ready to go. After that, with this pullback, should have seen that follow through. So it's just not ready longer term. This weekly cycle is pretty low. I'm just being patient. I mean, our last actions and signals were all kind of nibbling and coming out up here. We've seen pretty good rallies in front of 10 and 12 cents. It's just going to be about Bitcoin. I mean, if Bitcoin can't hold 5,000, then Cardano's going to be at, 5 cents or 3 cents, which is crazy. So I just have a hard time seeing this whole market break 5,000 BTC because all this stuff is going to be at zero, which should be like the buy of. I mean, unless you think Cardano is never gonna, nothing's gonna pan out. But even if nothing panned out long term, there's enough positioning and movement for you could have some serious moves off of such low levels. So I haven't added to Cardano since third, and I don't really plan on it until BTC changes rounds out the corner, turns the corner. If you look at Stellar is one that we did in the room the other day. This is one of the strongest charts out there, actually, longer term. It's performed really well. We talked about buying a little bit the other day at Pi, which I'll show you in a second. So this is versus BTC, and you still have higher lows intact, which is, you can't really say that for a lot of the other coins. So still have a long-term bull market here, which is pretty impressive. The daily level, you actually have a weekly that's turning up. So we talked about how we like this down here as you get closer to Pi and this support. So I'm not surprised there's a swing line right there. This is a bullish engulfing. This is all bullish. Probably want to go back to these highs. I like this cycle being low. So that chart looks good. Have they really? I didn't know that. Facebook's been in talks with them. Makes sense. I mean, it seems like the guys behind Stellar kind of rub shoulders with a lot of the tech crowd, I mean, the West Coast crowd, don't they? Oh man, Zen. I haven't looked at that cam in a while. Oh, they denied building on Stellar. Oh, so it's just crypto rumor. Well, whatever the news is, price action doesn't lie. So you got higher lows, you got an uptrend. This is all bullish, regardless of the smoke and mirrors. That's the thing, guys. Politicians, people lie, right? But you never really know what the fundamentals are. You never really know what the catalysts are going to be, but you can follow the money. And a lot of times you'll see that the chart will move first because the money's moving, and then the news comes out at, you know, that's why you buy the rumor, sell the news. It's the so you could say the same thing about countries that are collapsing. The lira, the capital's coming out of the country right now. You know, we've been buying dollar lira for months, and just now today, it's probably in the you know, mainstream's consciousness. But the money has been moving for a while. Anyway, just something. That's why we try not to trade the news. We not try to be less news specific, guys, and more about following the footprints of the money, which is on the chart. What do you mean by a low cap order book? Aeon? Oh, let's look at Zen first and we'll do Aeon. I'm not entirely sure what you mean there, partner. Cam, Zen versus BTC actually has some nice ebb and flow, pretty good rhythm here. Nice good trading ranges. I know you guys are you guys mining that stuff? This has a nice cycle. I think you take a little bit of risk and you accumulate anything towards here, and this is kind of the top of your range, you know what I mean? And then time it up with these cycles here. This was a pretty good spot to add back, and you would have had a pretty good rally. Let's see what percent that would have been. There's 50% right in there on that weekly little move. It's a little bit sideways in here. I wouldn't say it's in no man's land. I definitely care about the higher lows right here, because I can draw this. Like if I could throw a regression channel on here, it would kind of look like that. So this is clearly you're high within the range up here, right? Everybody wanted to chase the news up here, right into the exact opposite thing you should have been doing. And we held here and had a pretty good little move up. You just don't want this to come back down and break this low. If you break that low, you got to cut some risk and probably play defense. But it's still actually moving in a long-term uptrend, relative to BTC. I'd kind of think about buying down here. This daily cycle is pretty low. Yeah, I mean, we just had Bitcoin crap out, the overall market just couldn't get legs. If Bitcoin took off, you probably would have had some more ramp there. Man, they really got after Kiwi here versus the dollar last hour. This right here, I was looking at. Was playing that short this morning. A lot of these little down moves. Oh well. I had a big day and I'm still bothered by missing a move. Binance. What are we doing? We're doing Aeon, right? Oh, we can look at IOTA. I mean, if somebody cleared all the bids, to me they're puking. Somebody's puking. That's not when you want to be buying. You don't want to be selling down here, guys. I mean, I can't speak for everybody's individual position, but I'm just saying from a timing and price perspective, you go from here to here, and now somebody wants to blast all the bids out. That's somebody that's long, that's just been watching the value of this thing disappear. And actually in our model, my traders know this is a bottoming tail down here. This is actually bullish. You get bottoming tails at the end of moves that oftentimes mark the low. So that's probably some one or two or several. I mean, guys, people, they chase highs and they puke low. You know, everybody wants to buy and everybody buys and wants to see the price go up immediately. And then when it goes in their face, somebody's probably totally capitulating down here. That's what it looks like to me. This is that's capitulation. That's a bottoming tail at the end of a long move. That's bullish to me. Actually makes me want to add here. I mean, why would you sell down there? You're like, you don't even have that much farther before you're at zero to think that it's just going to stay at zero. I mean, we haven't seen these coins. Like, have we seen any coins that just go away? I mean, they pretty much are still there. They just bounce around at a low price. But I don't think these guys are going away. So to me, you have maybe this amount of risk. This is crazy to me. This is what people do on the lows. You have this amount of risk, right? And you have this amount of upside. I don't know why in the world you'd be a seller down there. And I'm serious. If these guys do what they want to do, this could be at new highs with the next bull market. No reason why this coin couldn't be at new highs. That's crazy. I wouldn't be panicking, guys. I'm going to be getting more aggressive, actually. Kind of glad you guys pointed that out. So appreciate that. IOTA. Yeah. I mean, guys, all these altcoins, they're nice and low, but the problem is they've been nice and low for a while. And that's the thing with bear markets. You just lower lows just keep getting lower. So you have to be really patient. I mean, there's a time and place to go contrarian, but it's tough to be aggressively buying lower lows. I mean, our crypto room, you've seen very little signals for me because there's no reason to be buying down here. And at the same time, I don't want to be shorting in the hole either. So that just is what it is. And I mean, I kind of think IOTA's like this longer term, right? But this was a bull cycle, kind of a bear cycle, bull cycle. We've been in a bear cycle again. But let's see if we can. I don't have any cycle work I've done on this chart. But the longer term, let's see if I can look at this not versus BTC, but yeah, I mean, I like being a buyer down here versus BTC. Longer term, this cycle is low. But again, there's not really a rush here. You can kind of let the market come to you. Let's find it versus Tether dollar. Yeah, so here's a little bit more of a bearish picture, actually. So this is the daily. Couldn't hold these lows. So I just don't think you need to be a buyer here until this pattern changes and turns around longer term. This is a BCI in our model that actually probably marks the middle of the move. So maybe have another leg down. Yeah, I have an issue to buy signal on IOTA in a while, and I don't see anything there yet. This is what we don't want to see happen to BTC either. We have these lower highs in place, and then you had that floor support. You can call that a triangulation, a flag, whatever. But we don't want to see that 5,000 break like that. You're going to be looking at the same thing. Yeah, Tyler, I don't disagree. Let's look at Ether. I mean, like Binance has been one of the strongest coins. Stellar's been really strong. Um, the other ones that we just talked about that I said look good. I actually only have a few more minutes, guys, and I have to hop. I'm playing golf with my girls here this afternoon. The I wouldn't I wouldn't I wouldn't we're still pretty much holding these lows here, guys, on Ether. It's kind of 360. I mean, this was the old base that we broke out from. So we're kind of in those same levels. So I mean, I know some people have different time frames. I just know that there's going to be the usual people on YouTube that want to say, "Oh, this is breaking." They're going to start shorting. There's I don't like to short new lows, guys. That's a bad strategy. You want to be shorting the lower highs and covering new lows as a rule of theme. This was a lower high. You fall from here to a new low right into this base. This is just not an area to be short. If you want to cut your risk or go to the sidelines, I mean, that's totally prudent. But, um, I can see us running the stops below 350, 360, and then putting in a low, and that'll be it. Kind of flush out all the weaker hands. But I'm not discounting a move from 350 to 200. Still a lot percentage, it's still pretty painful. It's kind of more about perspective. But if you do end up stopping or going to the sidelines, you can always get back in. That's okay too. I mean, I haven't decided. I might sell half and just go to the sidelines and get back in. But this has been another great example of freaking nothing but lower highs. Tried to turn the corner here, failed to make a lower low. And we just flagged and back down. Cameron, are you talking about on Aeon? I know. Percentage moves in crypto is just ridiculous. Well, that's what happens when you're dealing with something that's 10 cents. That's why we say you gotta trade smaller over a wider range of the chart on these altcoins. Like you got to realize like I could take a pullback and get aggressive in Forex on like a 1% pullback. But crypto, I mean, you got to be prepared for like a 50% pullback, an 80% pullback just before you can start getting aggressive. Yeah. That's a good way to play it, though. I mean, I wish we had block hedge where we wanted it, and something like Economy that has 100 million, but those guys don't know how to trade. They just outsourced all their stuff like a mutual fund company. You come in right now and you take a 20% of your portfolio and 100 million, you say, all right, I got 20 million that we want to put into Aon, and you just start averaging in down here, you're going to have you would have amazing returns if you know how to trade it. You could come in on an intraday move and just be like, all right, I'm going to buy in on 2 million down here. And you get a 30% pop. There's 300 grand. Okay. And you just keep working your position in and out down here. So maybe there's some bigger shops that are doing that. I mean, that's how I'd be bottom fishing this stuff too. Get heavy intraday when something gets really oversold and put a bunch of offers in and hope you get like a 20% pop. Take your profits on that and then just keep working into the position longer term. But anyway, guys, my daughter just popped in the office here and I got to head out. I guess thanks for hopping on. I just encourage some of you. I mean, this is a pretty good week and just show you guys what's possible. For those of you that want to join us, you know, I'll be trading for the rest of my life. So if you come join me, man, we'll go on the journey together. And we got a lot of things we're working on, different projects, and just encourage you guys, I guess, follow us on YouTube and come join us in the chat room. You know, maybe some of you didn't see earlier, just blockedgecapital.com. We have our podcasts on there. I didn't really mention that earlier under media. But then, yeah, just come and check us out in the chat room or sign up to learn about the model. You know, I mean, it's a small price to pay, guys. I mean, I paid 12 grand 10 years ago to learn FX because I knew that at some point I knew that these types of days would be possible. I mean, so it's been 10 years of, you know, there's millions of dollars in there. 12 grand is not a big investment. And we're talking about learning all this stuff and joining a team for 2/3 the price. So I just encourage you guys to act. And I'm traveling to Chicago this weekend, but we'll be around next week. So hopefully we'll have some of you will join us and we'll see you in the live room. But, all right, guys. Yeah. Thanks, Tyler. You guys enjoy your weekend too. You guys be safe, be good. And congrats for all you dollar bulls and you guys that are with me on the team. I'll probably hit you up later in the chat. So good stuff. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you. All right, Em, you're welcome. See you, man. Cameron, later. Welcome. Daniel, you're welcome, buddy. And whoever else I kind of missed. You guys have a good one.